Yeah.
We just went live.
Yeah, we only had 17 seconds left, so we're live, and hopefully I'm gonna give this guy a few minutes, and then I'll reach out to him. But what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 23 of the Deadhead Podcast, and it's me and Jan, your lovely hosts for the Deadhead Podcast, back and ready to rumble as we talk and tackle everything Resident Evil 4 Remake. We do have a special guest, Dizz Fuss Plays on Twitch. His name is Dizz. He should be on the show any second now, but we're still kind of waiting for him. But until then, me and Jan are here, and I think we'll just try to carry it until he gets here. So with that being said, thank you guys for coming on the show. As always, if you wouldn't mind leaving a like on this stream and also following us everywhere on our YouTube, our Twitch, our Facebook fan page, and everywhere else you can find us. Links are in the bio of every social media platform we have. I also have Dizz's stuff down below, and here he is right here, actually.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
Hello, nice to meet you both.
Oh, nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you too.
I was just going through the intro, man. I'm glad you showed up just in time. I just like take time to introduce our special guest for the show, Dizz from Dizz Fuzz Plays on Twitch. We got all of his information down. Should be in the comment section or description of this stream. So, we'll start off real quick. Well, Dizz, you came here just in time, man. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good, to be honest. You know, just it's 10 p.m. here, so got a good time, to be honest. Late.
Yeah. No, it's I'm always most of the guests we have on here are on a different time zone than me. Yeah. We've had a couple times. We've had some guys, because I'm from the States, that we kind of correlate on the same time. But I'm sorry for being so late, but I do appreciate you coming on and chilling with us for a little while.
Appreciate you guys having me.
Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, no, Jan is from that side of the world as well, so we kind of adjust to his schedule too. So
yeah, we are like 1 hour apart. Yeah, you say you're 10 p.m. I'm like 11 p.m. So
are you from a Scandinavian country?
How do I look like it? No, I'm from Italy.
Oh, bad guess then. Oh, okay, no, fair enough. Yeah.
Well, I mean, although I am half Croatian, so it's there, right?
Yeah.
Mountainous people living in the mountains. It's there.
I guess that counts.
Where are you from?
I'm from London. Yeah, so right in London.
Oh,
okay.
Nice. Oh yeah. Now that you said it, I hear the accent.
Yeah, everyone hears the accent. Everyone knows where I'm from, and they hear me on my.
Yeah, no, that's cool, man. I mean, like, how is what part of? I mean, you don't have to give your specific location. We'll try to keep that out of streams like this. But where about in London are you from?
South London, so very close to Big Ben and London Eye, so around that kind of proximity. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's cool, man. Yeah, I will probably never go there. Ever. I'll probably never be able to. No, I never. I'd love to. I'll probably never be able to.
Okay.
Though. Yeah.
Oh, do you travel?
That's fair.
What'd you say?
Do you travel a lot, or you just?
Man, not really. For my job, I have to kind of stay around. But no, I don't really travel all that much. I think the farthest I've ever traveled, I went on a 5-day cruise on the Caribbean, and I think I went to Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, things like that. But I've never been across seas anywhere. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. No, I did that when I was in 10th grade. Didn't enjoy it nearly as much. I was just following around this girl the whole time when I could have actually had way more fun. So, but it is what it is. I was 10 years old, and I was dumb.
Went to the game early.
Yeah, no, I got you. But yeah, no. Again, we appreciate you coming on the show. I sent Jan your Twitch link, and like I said, I put all your information down below. So any of our viewers that stop by, they can check you out. We want to bring as many eyes to your page and ours as well. So we're glad to have you, man. We appreciate it. Jan, how's it going, man? I know we were just talking. You want to tell the people what you've been up to? I know it's been a couple weeks since we've been on here.
Well, Dylan, I'm pretty sure you know what I've been up to. And all the people that follow our pages do as well. I've been playing the shit out of Resident Evil 4. Played so much, in fact, I got all the trophies, got that platinum. And I loved every second of it. I made a bit, I must have had like 6-7 playthroughs. And I'm telling you, it never gets old. Well, I'm a liar. It got a bit old by the end. But I'm telling you, playing these remakes, because I played Resident Evil 2, 3, and 4, all the remakes, one after the other, and it made me fall in love with the series, and I cannot wait to go ahead and play all the other titles, especially Resi 4. I think this is the best of the bunch, the best of this remake trilogy, as I call them. The music is spot on, the combat is great. I like the story. A lot of people shit on the story, say it's like a B movie kind of plot. I really enjoyed it, especially with more serious tone that the remake brought to it. I thought all the characters were pretty fleshed out, pretty believable. It had a few ridiculous scenes, but all in all, I think all the characters were likable, especially Ashley. Coming into it, I thought I would kind of despise her, right? Like this one chick that you gotta just rescue all the time, and she has to follow you around. But no, she's very charismatic, and just that, just her characterization made me not hate as much all the what do you call them, the rescue segments. Well, they have a name, but I forgot. So anyhow, I had a lot of fun. What about you guys?
And wait a minute. Well, real quick before I get it over to Dizz over here. You hadn't played the original, correct? You haven't played the original game, yeah?
No, I did watch a few videos of it, and I do plan on playing it. Not to play the remake. That's what's great about the remake, is that it doesn't seem like it wants to substitute the original. If anything, it complements it, right? I'm like, holy shit, this is awesome. Like, I would really like to know how the original one is. I think that both the original and the remake can live side by side. And I think that's a philosophy that I'm all for. I am not really all for these remakes that try to substitute the original, right? Try to make it just okay. This is the better version of it. You can pretty much throw the old version in the trash. I can't really condone that, and this one seems to be doing its own thing, and I enjoyed that a lot. I really like that.
Good deal. All right, Diz, what you got, man? What do you think about Resident Evil 4 remake?
Okay, a bit of background on my Resident Evil. I'm very new to the series. I haven't played 1, 2, or 3, or 4 of the originals, but I have played Resident Evil 5. I've played and I played 6. So I've played 2 games that were basically completely different to the original Resident Evil 4. And bringing myself into Resident Evil 4 remake, I'm not gonna lie, I was very impressed with everything. And I don't have that opinion to compare it to the original one, but I can already tell that the games are very, very completely different. And from playing it just from the start, I liked everything about it. I liked the horror element of it, because I played Resident Evil 5 and 6, and they weren't very scary games at all. Like Resident Evil 5 is set in the sun, Resident Evil 6 is more action. So Resident Evil 4, the way it produced its sound effects and how it creates that airy atmosphere with the guns, the zombies, or they're kind of like cult zombies in a way. And I feel like that really drew into the atmosphere of the gameplay. And that's one thing that's really important within horror games, because if you have shit sound effects, then you're not really going to feel very immersed. And I liked how fast it was. There's not really any boring segments. There's a lot of interactive things such as parrying. The sound effects sound good. The guns all sound amazing and satisfying. The only thing that it's a minor complaint that I'll complain about, but there's some segments in the game, for example, the boss battles, where it gets very crowded. And like, for example, that boss with the tool guy, and you fight him in the cabin. And
the big cheese.
Yeah, the big cheese. I felt like that one was it was okay boss fight, but it was very compact. So when you had to use the knife and you have to look around, you got very kind of squeezed in and small, compared to other boss fights where there were a lot more, aerodynamic, and it was a lot more spacious. So overall, I've watched reviews and watched a ton of reviews, and I kind of do agree with the IGN review where they gave it almost a near 10. Like, there's not really much complaints about it that you can give. So yeah.
Good deal. Yeah. By the way, his name is. Oh, what were we gonna say? Go ahead, Jan. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say that about the big cheese fight.
Alvarez. By the way. His name is Alvarez.
Right.
Put some respect on his name, man. It's Alvarez.
Sorry. All right. Mendez, right? Alvarez Mendez.
It might be Mendez. My bad. Alvarez fight. My bad. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. So, about the Mendez fight, I think that, and you can correct me this, Dylan, because you played the original, but I think that in the original, it's even more cramped. And there's like fog everywhere, so you can barely see anything.
Yeah.
So, you can't. In the remake, it was an act of mercy, actually.
you can't move freely either. Like, so in the remake, yeah, it's like, well, like when Mendez, he's up at the top of like the rafters and he's going back and forth and throwing shit at you. In the remake, you can move a lot more. In the original, it's like you're just stationary and you have to hit your shot perfect or else he's just going to hit you. And that's one of the main complaints of the original is that you can't move while aiming. I'll be honest with you, I went back and played it. I thought that was going to be a serious problem, and it really wasn't. It's really not. Yes, I'd like to move. It's more realistic that I can be able to crouch, be a little bit more tactical with my shots, like you are in Resident Evil 4 Remake. However, it didn't really affect my playthrough. But yes, Jan, if you go back and watch the gameplay, Dizz for the original one, maybe you have, it's like even worse than the original. Like it's like you can't even move, and you can't even move while aiming. So you're getting hit from like everything. He's like literally just holding shit at you all the time.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the only problem that I have is that some of my complaints in the game cannot really compare to the original since I haven't played it. But I guess because when was the original made? Maybe 2005.
2005.
Yeah, 2005. So they have had a lot of time to kind of remix everything, but they kind of do have to be careful they don't. As Oren said, you don't want to make a substitute. You know, you kind of want to make something that's like not just kind of trashy and just like completely different. You want to make something that's like new and fresh. So they kind of have to bridge between those two elements. So yeah, I kind of agree with that, to be honest.
Yeah. No,
speaking
I
about
think,
the.
Yep. Oh, I'm sorry, man.
I interrupted you first.
Oh no, I was gonna say like when you look at both of them, yeah, they can both definitely exist, but the preferred way to play, and I don't care what anybody says, the preferred way to play is the remake. Like there's still some people saying that the original is better than the remake. No, it's not.
Wow.
Dude, everything about the remake is better than the original. The only thing that the original has that the remake doesn't, I think, it's just this nostalgia, right? We get stuck in this nostalgia thing that we're in, and we just immediately think that what came before is always better. And I'm like one of those. Like, all right, take like the Scream franchise, right? You guys know Scream. We actually almost did a Scream episode on the channel here. I still think the original is better than every single movie that came after it. There's some people that think the newest one is better than the first one. But see, that's just me. Like overall, the sixth movie in this franchise might be the best one of all time. But I'm always going to go with the original because I have attachment. So I think a lot of people are going to say the original is better than the remake just because, I played that on GameCube when it was, when I was at my grandma's house. All right, well, that's fine. But the remake is, the graphics are better. The voice acting it's a little better. If you go back and you listen to the voice acting in the original, that shit is terrible. It's like they just hired some guys off the street. No thanks, bro. Like that's how they talk the whole time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, okay. You know what, Dylan? I can't agree or disagree with you until I play the original. So I'll get back to you on that because I read some reviews and they do make some compelling points, right? About some cut content and about how the tone is different. So I'm not gonna say anything definitive now, but I'll get back to you.
Yeah, look, all I'm saying is that I think both games are still fantastic. Like I can go back and play the original and still like love the remake more and vice versa. Like I'm just saying, like in every way, the atmosphere to me is what puts this remake over the original game by a landslide because the original looks so dull. Like I don't know if you guys look at the gameplay, look around you, like at the wooded area at the beginning, or like the village when all the Las Plagas infected are coming after you. That part looks so bland in the original, but in the remake, it pops. Like it actually has a good like horror element that I really like because I'm a horror fan. So that's
I noticed that too. That from the little snippets that I've seen of the original, the remake does seem to be more horror centered, right? It's a bit darker. The sounds, as Fuzz said, it's a bit more. It gives you this claustrophobic feel, right? You can see your sounds coming all around you, and overall, they cut some goofy segments to make the game a bit more scary. Like I know that at some point in the castle, in the original, you have like a huge statue of Ramon chasing you down, and there's like a QTE segment, literally like running like this, running away from the fucking statue.
Yeah, it's a quick time event. It's a quick time event. So like you got to spam circle or whatever it is, and you're just running like that away from the statue. And they have the statue in the game. They have the statue in the remake. He just doesn't break out and start chasing after him. And there's people actually disappointed that didn't make it in the final cut of the game.
Wait, what segment was this? Was this in the original one? Was it early on?
It's the so in the original there's like this giant statue of Ramon Salazar, the short guy. It's like a big statue of him, and he chases you in the remake, and it's like a quick time event. In the remake, it shows the statue. Like there's a part where you go in the clock tower, and that's when when the fire is shooting at you, and you have to go around it while it's trying to hit you. And there is a statue, but he doesn't break out and start chasing after you. Thank God, because that shit's just stupid, man.
So there was certain elements in the original that they removed to kind of avoid like jankiness and
I guess like to modernize a bit, yeah. Just like with Ashley, right? Like what you mentioned, Ashley. I'm okay. So this is where we're going to disagree because I still find Ashley really fucking annoying. Like,
are you
really
kidding?
Annoying.
Come on,
I like her better.
She's a sweetheart.
So she is, but she's annoying. Like she screams all the time. Like I'm over here handling business, and then I got to turn around and hear her like screaming.
Well, if she's screaming, you're not doing your job as you should. Okay,
touche, but still, she doesn't have to scream.
What we're supposed to do? She's supposed to just calmly say, "Hey, Leon, we gotta."
In the original, in the original, all she does is, "Leon, help me, Leon, Leon." Like they only gave her like 2 lines.
Well, isn't it more realistic where she like gives this blood-curdling scream where she's being attacked by monsters?
I guess so, but when it keeps happening, it starts to become a little bit of a nuisance.
Yeah. Okay.
So, would you guys prefer Ashley in or out of the game?
Excuse me?
Pick. Would you prefer Ashley in or out of the game? Like, would you just?
Okay.
Oh, in. She's an integral part of it.
Yeah, I would agree as well.
I guess in, but I wouldn't want the babysitting parts of it. Like, let me just go save her, and then like there's a cut scene, and then we go our separate ways, and then I save her, and then she goes away. You know what I mean? That's what I'd rather do.
I think it's important that we have to babysit her a bit because, especially in the remake, she becomes a lot more independent later on. Like I think there's this progression with her. Right, at first she's just really scared. She even attacks Leon, out of panic.
Yeah.
And, but later on, she starts being useful. Right. There's this segment in the underground lab. There's like a regenerador chasing you, and Ashley's like holding the bridge. And if you go through the bridge and the regenerador goes after you, she makes the bridge fall. She goes, "Yo, take this." And
you're saying that like crazy. You're talking about the regenerator, right?
Yeah, I mean, they call it like that.
Okay.
It's in Spanish.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Well, it's just I've always called it the regenerator. You talking about the big fat things that have way too much jiggle physics.
Well, everybody in Community addresses the monsters with their Spanish names, so I thought, I don't know, I didn't want to be out of the loop. They always say ganados. They say I don't know, like
Las Plagas.
Yeah,
Plagas. Well, I guess we'll stick to the English ones then.
Yeah. No, that's fine. No, you said it so fast. I didn't even quite understand what you said, but I knew what part you were at because I've beaten the game 3 times now, so I know what you're talking about. So, but I was like, you said it so quick. I didn't know. You sound like Busta Rhymes right there, and I was like, So I think that she's fine, but I found her a bit annoying, especially towards like farther in the game. Yes, you get to know her a little bit more, but honestly, I don't think they did anything really more to really make her character more likable. I guess I like her a little bit more. So in the original, she's more of just like a thing you look at pretty much. Like you can tell they really tried to make her sexy in the original game. Like her jiggle physics were like through the roof, and Leon was always talking about her butt. Like I think it's one section that happens. Like you guys fall from like a certain height, and you both fall beside each other, and then she's like, "Ow, that really hurt." And then Leon was like, "I knew you'd be fine if you landed on your butt." He like legit says that to Ashley.
Yeah.
Like I thought you were protecting her, not simping. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought that Louis says a similar thing in the original. Like he goes, "Oh, I see that the president has equipped his daughter with ballistics or some shit like that." It's horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah, I mean,
speaking of Louis is also a character that I liked a lot in the remake. Man, what a heartthrob! damn. I think I might simply more for him than for Ash. I'm telling you. You know, when he goes, "Come on, Sancho Panza, let us rescue Princess Dulcinea." I'm with him. I'm with him all the way.
Yeah, I really liked him as well, to be honest. His character really added like an element of just like funniness and like banter.
Mm-hmm. And in the end, it was kind of he was more than skin deep in the end, right? There's this whole redemption arc that goes on with him. You know, his death scene, it kind of, you know, it didn't really move me, but I really liked it, right? This whole, you know, what do you think, Jefe? People can change, huh?
Yeah.
It was nice. Nice touch. And I'm grounded from what... Go ahead.
I was going to say...
you're going to say the same thing I am,
Lewis doesn't really have a huge part at all in the original. He actually had way more time in the remake that you actually get to know him. Like that whole sequence where you fight the two... what's the Spanish word, Jan? Since so I don't mess the two.
Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna pronounce it well, but it's gigante.
It's the two big trolls. Yeah, that's it.
The giants.
Yeah, you have the two big ones in that room. It's got like the floor.
I love that one.
Yeah, it's a good boss fight. I love that boss fight. In the original game, he's not with you during that part. It's just you.
Like he's really helpful in the remake. He straps the dynamite to the armored giant's back.
Yeah,
bro. I'm not gonna lie. At the start when he first came in, I was like, "This guy is a sleazy guy." Like even at the start when he took all your ammo, he said like, "Fuck you, I don't need you." I was like, "Nah, we have to kill this dude." And then suddenly we're playing with him, and we're like, "He's actually alright, you know." He's like helping out. Yeah. He's got a funny side. But at the start, I was like, "Nah, come on, Leon, kill that dude, shoot him in the head."
I think that's the trick that the story does on purpose, right? He looks, you know, he has the whole sleazy car salesman act at the beginning, but you warm up to him. And I really like the fact that after he gives you the key, right, the key to his laboratory, it kind of just stays in your inventory, right? You don't really pay attention to it. And then in that very crucial moment, right, when Neil is kind of losing it, you know, he's really fighting the parasite. In these final seconds of lucidity, he tries to open a door, and you remember you had this key in your inventory for the last 3 hours. That was a great moment.
Yeah. So it sounds like to me, Jan is really in love with this game. It seems like because you're talking about these like great lines. Like to me, like, and I made a TikTok about it. I think I posted on Instagram when I talked about my thoughts on Resident Evil 4 story in general. I just think it's quite shit, to be honest, and I don't think the remake really did anything to further. I'm just being honest, dude. The game. Look, I love Resident Evil. I absolutely love this franchise. I just think the story. I just think the story is just. It's just not that good. It's just like it's all right. It's good. It's there. Cool. I was kind of hoping, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, Dizz. I was actually hoping that they would have gave us a little bit more story with Krauser, right? So Krauser comes into the very end of the game. Essentially him and Leon, they were like war buddies pretty much. I was kind of hoping they would have gave a little bit more story in that. I mean, do you feel about the same way? I mean, you got to that part in the game, right?
Yeah, when they first introduced Krauser, I was like, this guy's a badass. Like he's pretty solid, but there's not really much you can know about him. Like as a newcomer, like it just seemed to me like he was like a rival, or maybe they were in the military together. Like I have no idea like what their relationship was. Though they would say like one-liners and quotes like, oh, why didn't you do this before? Like they'll say like quotes to reference like the backstory. But as a newcomer, I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Like, who are these guys? Like, did they make out one time or? What's the story?
I think he's introduced in this one. I think there's no prior mention of him before Resi 4.
Yeah.
So even if you weren't a newcomer, you'd be as confused.
Yeah, well, they mentioned a mission called Project Javier, and apparently they made a game that after Resident Evil 4, but it's based before the events of Resident Evil 4, and it's called like Operation something. I don't know what it's called. It's like
Umbrella Project, something like that. It's for the fucking Wii. It's a light gun game. It's like an Unreal shooter.
Well, apparently that's where they form their relationship. But I would have liked to maybe like I know that Resident Evil isn't really known for this, but I would have liked to have seen a little bit more backstory with that. You know, that way by the time you get to that ending fight scene and Leon has to kill him, it would have felt a bit more. Like I'd be like, all right, well, he just killed his former captain, pretty much. I mean, that's what I was understanding. So you see him a little bit at the beginning, which I really, really liked, because if that was a CGI like trailer or CGI footage, that was really good. At the very beginning, where you hear Leon saying he talks about the events of Raccoon City and all that stuff, and you're seeing like him training. Yeah. I thought that was awesome, because I love martial arts. I love like karate and things like that. So when you're seeing him and Krauser throwing kicks and like punches at each other and stuff, and like they were training, I would have liked to have seen more of that. But I don't know. We'll probably never get that. That's just me. You know, I like stuff.
Well,
like
there's not much of a story to tell. I think that's the problem, right? I think that you cannot make an entire game center just around that, right? If anything, they had, as you said, they had one chance to expand it in this one remake, and they choose to not do that.
Yeah,
which I'm okay. If I had to choose between more Krauser and more Louis, like I'm glad they went for more Louis. You know what I'm saying?
No, and he's I don't know if you guys played. I know Jan has. But Dizz, if you played any of the mercenary mode where you can play as like different characters, it's like you can play as Louis a little bit in that too, and he's actually pretty fun to play with. Actually, like he got a different play style that I like.
Yeah, you can play as Krauser as well.
Yeah. You see him like he turns into like a little bit.
Yeah, Krauser is a fucking monster. Yeah. His special move that he turns into the boss. It can like slash at the boss plagas with that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow, I need to do that.
It's so simple, but it's a lot. Yeah, it's so simple. Like the game mode is literally just survival. That's pretty much all it is. I mean, you go around, like you'll have different sections. So I think it's like, what is it? Like the castle, it's the village, and then what's the other one?
The village, the castle, and the island.
Oh, well, the three major settings of the game. So so you just go through the three settings. You can pick which one you want, and you just run around and try to survive, and you try to collect as many points as you can. If you get an S tier on all three of the maps, you get the hand cannon.
Hand cannon.
And on my second playthrough, I was playing on so I played it on standard first. I know Jan likes to start off a little hard. I usually play games like on like hard mode usually, but I knew with this I was like leading up to Resident Evil 4 remake. I played Resident Evil 4 original like twice just to kind of catch up on it, and I just had a blast. I played it through again. I played Resident Evil 5. Played that on hard difficulty, and then I played Resident Evil 6 all the way through in hard, and that's a long ass game, super long. So leading into this one, I just wanted to start off standard. If something whoops my ass, fine, but I just didn't want like a huge like ass kicking, pretty much. You know what I mean? But by that second playthrough, I played on hardcore, and man, I had the hand cannon, and I upgraded it to where it had unlimited ammo, and I was just eating everything. Like nothing could touch me, man. It was a blast, but the thing about it is, I think I enjoy shooting the other guns more than the hand cannon, even though it's smarter. Just like when I do my professional playthrough, I started it, but I just didn't really finish it because I had other games coming out, and I wanted to keep up with that. But like the hand cannon just wasn't as fun to use as like the I think pretty much the whole game I used the Punisher handgun. Yeah. I thought that was great, all the way upgraded. And then I used what's the SMG I can't remember what the SMG it was, but it's not the assault rifle, but it's the second one. The second one you pick up, the second SMG you pick up. I don't know what the name of it's called, but I had that one fully upgraded. So I ran with the Punisher and that pretty much the entire game, and I had a blast.
Shotgun?
I did use a shotgun a little bit, but I think I had more fun using the handguns and the SMG.
Does the hand cannon use Magnum ammo, or was it pistol?
Yeah, it used Magnum ammo.
Okay, that one is strong then. Probably I haven't tried it yet.
Oh, it's strong as hell. I think it's the strongest weapon in the game.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is.
Yeah,
you can pretty much one shot anything.
Yeah, before the mercenaries mode, the only way to get the hand cannon was to play an entire playthrough on professional without any bonus weapons. Yeah, like it was brutal. Yeah, I think they introduced the alternative way to get it. Just to as an act of mercy. I think.
I wasn't doing that shit. I didn't even know about it. I seen they had all three of the venues. I got an S tier on all of them, and then it said you get the hand cannon. I was like, what? I thought you had to play all three professional.
Christ, yeah.
What? And I'm here using like the freaking starter pistol and shooting for hours on like one dude. I'm like, bro, I want the high.
Oh, you tried professional? You gave a crack at it?
No, I haven't tried professional yet. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
I should though, to be honest, give myself a challenge, but I don't know, man. That
Like
seems
honestly,
Dude, I've watched your
slowly.
streams. It would be funny as hell, dude.
yeah, should I?
Do the stream, play on professional, and make cuts of it like
Yeah.
you've been doing online and reposting
Yeah.
it. I'm telling you, people will love that shit. It'll piss you off. But get the hand cannon. So when next time you play, go to Mercenaries, and you just got to get an S tier on each map. It's only 3 maps.
It's easier than you think.
And it's super easy, and you'll have it, man.
I'm definitely doing that then, 100%. And I'm gonna go on professional and cool for myself.
Another bit of friendly advice. I think do a hardcore run first, because professional is essentially hardcore without checkpoints. Like it is a bit harder, yes. Yeah, professional does not have checkpoints. Each time you die, you go back to your last manual save. I'm telling you, that's a bitch. Yeah, it's a doozy. Honestly, like I know that Dylan knows me for being this hardcore gamer, but I'm gonna come clean. While it did beat professional, I beat it with the unlimited rocket launcher.
Oh,
I was like,
Well, to be honest, I heard one of my viewers was talking to me about, I'm doing professional on unlimited rocket launcher, and he said he was still struggling. So there must be still kind of a hard element to it, right? Or
well, you gotta know what you're doing, right? But it's definitely much easier because rocket launcher just melts everything. It even one shots the bosses. So it's it's nowhere near as difficult as doing it legit. But yeah, I mean, you gotta know what you're doing because there's some points that have like instant death moments. There's some moments where you cannot use a rocket launcher, like when you're against the Del Lago. That's the monster in the lake for Dylan. Or when you're in the minecart section, right? Then you have to use Luis's gun during that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's and again, if you fuck up at any moment, you go back to your last save.
Yeah.
So that's
So is that just the majority of the unlockables then? So from finishing professional, doing the mercenaries, you get the hand cannon. Is there anything like extra you get?
Yeah. There's a Chicago sweeper for beating professional with an A rank, which is a Tommy gun, which can also be upgraded to have unlimited ammo. There's the unbreakable knife, which you get by destroying all the. There's these little collectibles, these little like toy soldiers. They're called Castellans, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You can destroy all 16 of them throughout the game. You get the unbreakable knife. It's called the unbreakable knife, but it's only unbreakable once you upgrade it fully. But yeah, once upgraded fully, it's unbreakable. There's that. And those are the only weapons. Then you have some costumes. You have a really cool costume for Ashley. She's like in an armor. It's like a knight's armor. And when she has that, she's impervious to all damage.
Yeah, how do you get the costumes?
Enemies can't do anything to her. Well, each one has a different requisite. I think for Ashley, you need to beat it for Ashley's armor. I think you need to beat it on hardcore with a good ranking, I think. But I wouldn't put my hand. I wouldn't bet on that. I'll check it out.
That sounds about right. Because the whole reason you go back, so that's for me. I've never been like a huge speed runner, but then I love Resident Evil, so that's like the only game I ever speed run. But the whole point of you playing the game again is beating it in a faster time. So like running through most enemies, skipping all cutscenes, trying to find any way. Like you guys know in the village, right? You can hit a bell, the church bell from the village to prevent all the Las Plagas infected to just go into the church, and that's it. You don't even have to run from everybody or fight anybody in the village. You guys know that, right?
I didn't know that, but I don't blame you for not knowing that because in the remake it's much harder. You cannot even do that on your first run because like the bell is like far off into the distance.
Yeah,
and you need to use like a sniper rifle. You need a sniper. In the original, you can use like a handgun. You can just go in. But that's a cool detail, right?
Yeah,
because the reason why they stop attacking you is because they hear the bell, right?
Yeah.
So if you shoot it early, obviously they disperse early. They go La Campana. Whatever they go.
Yeah, I realized that Resident Evil is quite popular with speedruns because I just as soon as I started playing Resident Evil, I just saw so much recommendation of like guys speedrunning it within like an hour and 40 minutes in front of like a crowd of people, and he's just there talking while playing it, and I'm just like, how is he doing this shit? What?
Dude,
So,
I have
yeah.
no clue.
The only thing is that doesn't seem fun to me, right? Like what makes it fun is the encounters. I love the encounters. Like I love being like you're getting surrounded. I aim for the legs a lot. I shoot the legs, they drop. I do a spinning back kick. I knock like 5 or 6 of them down, and then I finish them off. You know what I mean? That's so badass to me. Like I freaking love that shit. If I'm doing a speed run, I can't really stand and fight like that. I gotta run, and that kind of takes away for me. And I don't know how you guys feel, but for me, it kind of takes the fun away, man. I think because like Dizz had mentioned earlier when he was talking about the things he really liked about the game, I think the again, I think I say this in almost every video or every stream that we do, and we're talking about guns. Like I don't know how much you guys have handled any weapons, but the most authentic feel of weapons general is in Resident Evil 4 Remake. The weapons just feel so like the actual the recoil, the way he loads the weapons. I actually I did like a small little video on TikTok where I actually stood there and I had Leon like reloading his rifle. And the first rifle you get in the game, you have to manually load each shell into the rifle, and you can see his fingers putting each shell in the gun. I thought I was like, dude, that's realistic as hell. Is it slow as shit? Yes. But it's super realistic, man.
Did it get me killed? Hell yeah.
Yeah, but it's awesome. Like I'm like, dude, this is fucking awesome. And then I'm getting killed. But like I like stuff like that. And so the gunplay, I say all that to say the gunplay is magnificent in this game. And so like I want to shoot things. I don't just want to run away. You know, I like in Resident Evil 2. And have you played Resident Evil 2 Remake at all? Definitely play that. Fantastic.
That's very good.
But I'm sure Jan can atone to this. Like in that game, you're kind of encouraged to run away. Like you don't want to just sit there and just pelt everything because those zombies take so many shots. I mean, if you're not like spot on, you know, it's a wrap.
Resources are scarce.
Yeah, very scarce.
Yeah, and there's no roundhouse kicks. You know, there's none of that. Like, it's not action oriented as Resi 4 is.
Yeah,
it's much more survival heavy. Yeah, much more survival heavy. Yeah.
Which I like. See, that's the thing. Like,
me too.
When Jan, like going off of what Jan said when he said like this is the best of the remakes, I agree. It's the top remake, but I would have to say, dude, I like Resident Evil 2. I like the survival horror a little bit better in Resident Evil 2. Like I have to be a little bit smarter with my approaches. In Resident Evil 4, I've barely ever ran out of ammo, so I was good to go. Like I was, and it's awesome. I mean, when you come in there and like I said, you aim for the legs, you go up, you kick them, you go down, you knife them, you finish them off, and then on to the next one, baby. You body slam somebody. It's like the gameplay is the best. I will agree, but I think as far as like for me for survival horror, I gotta go with Resident Evil 2 Remake and Dizz. I'm telling you, man, you got to play that one. That'd be fun to do on stream, man. Like that would be super fun.
That's also a bit more fun to speedrun, I think, because it's less about, as Dylan said, it's less about the encounters. The game is not about the encounter; it's more about the puzzles, right? So in a speedrun, it's at least I had a lot of fun in remember exactly where each key item that I needed was. Finding the optimal route. Just having on me what I needed, not having too much stuff in my inventory. So yeah, I will agree with Dylan on that one. That in Resi 4, it's almost a shame to avoid the encounters because that's the fun part. There's not a lot of puzzling going around in Resi 4. The most puzzles you do is, find key for that one door, right?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, for me, I'm not very a puzzle man. Every time I see a puzzle in a video game, I go angry. And I spend like these 10 minutes max, 20 minutes max, and then I YouTube it. Like I'm that guy.
You know what?
Every time I get annoyed.
Okay, I promise I'm not just trying to rebuttal everything you say, but I was the same way. When I play a game, like an RPG is not usually puzzle oriented, right? Did you? You got cut out or something?
Yeah, you were frozen for a second. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So what I was saying is that I'm the same way. Like usually when I see a puzzle in a game that's not very puzzle heavy, usually like an RPG or something, and I see a puzzle, I'm like, oh come on, man. And if I cannot, solve it in 5 minutes, that's it. I'm I'm googling it. But in Resident Evil 2, it's which is by now the only survival horror Resi I've played, is it kind of compels you to solve them. They're easy enough, but not too easy. I give it a try. Like, I'm not trying to car salesman my way out to you, but
Yeah, no,
I
I
must
agree
say
on
that
that
I'm
fact,
will.
because it is very satisfying when you're doing a puzzle for like 20 minutes and you solve it. That is probably one of the most satisfying feelings. So yeah, I do agree on that, to be honest. And if it's, as long as it's compelling enough, then I'll engage into it. But if it's like one of those puzzles where I haven't seen one of Resident Evil like this, but I don't know if you guys have played Hogwarts, where you're like collecting moths and like putting it in statues. Nah, man.
That's not even a puzzle. That's an Easter egg hunt, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't get an egg at the end. Because
Yeah, exactly.
you get a shitty upgrade.
Yeah, don't get Jan started on Hogwarts Legacy, man. He'll lose it. He'll go off for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's just like a quick
Lord.
comparison of like what puzzles I enjoy and what puzzles I like. Because I like the puzzle in Resident Evil 4 where you're like moving that circular statue and has all that colors and it's like a moth.
Oh yeah,
And,
yeah.
yeah. I like
It's
puzzles
pretty
like
much.
that.
It's kind of like that. There's just a bit more of like the key items are a bit more hidden. You kind of, but there's a map, and the map is really easy to read, and it always tells you if you haven't found everything that there is to find on that map. And again, that's the fun of it all. It's not like Resident 4 where it's pretty linear, right? You're trudging through areas. This one, there's like 3 big areas, and you have this map, and you're constantly looking at, okay, what have I looked at? Which place haven't I checked, right? Honestly, it made me fall in love with the series. If that one didn't compel me as much, I would have never have started, Resident Evil 3 or Resident Evil 4, and now the rest of the series.
Yeah.
Well,
Resident Evil has always been known for its puzzles, and a lot of them, especially the original ones. Like I remember, like Resident Evil. I think Resident Evil 0, I believe. They had a remaster for PS4. I bought it. I never fully played through the whole game because that's tank controls, and I don't do that. But there's a puzzle in the game where like, I think Resident Evil 0, you play as 2 separate characters, and you can switch from one to the other on the fly. It's kind of like in GTA 5 where you can switch from one to the other. Well, anyway, there's a part where like the girl is downstairs, or it might be the guy's downstairs, and the girl's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go upstairs and go get this, and I think you had to go get a knife or something. Well, there's like an elevator, like a dumbwaiter almost, that you got to send the knife down into. And the knife is only but maybe like that big, so it's not big at all. It could easily fit down a dumbwaiter, but you need this special casing to fit the knife in order for it to get sent down the dumbwaiter. It's like, dude, just throw the shit in there, close it, and send it downstairs. But no, you can't. Like, you got to find this, and guess what? You go down the door where it is, and there's like a big ass enemy waiting for you down there that you have to get past to get it. So like, it has a lot of those, which I'm fine with. I will say, if you guys play the original Resident Evil 4, there's a puzzle in that game where you play as Ashley that's so goddamn frustrating. Like, I'll almost put the game down and never played it again. And you'll know it when you see it. I looked it up online, and it couldn't even tell me what to do because the puzzle is so broken. I had to literally, you got to sit there. It's so essentially you'll see it's like you come up to this pedestal and it has like all these like blocks on it, and it makes a picture, but you have to move the blocks like a certain way to get the picture to form. And I sat there like moving each block all over the freaking map. And I sat there, I was like this. I was sitting there. At this point, and I'm not shitting you. Like, I think I had to go somewhere in like an hour. And I was like, all right, well, let's play some Resident Evil 4. Since I got a little bit of time. And I'm stuck on this fucking puzzle for an hour. I look down on the time and I'm like, holy shit, I've been looking at this for an hour. And I couldn't figure it out. So I had to put the game down, come back. It took like another 45 minutes to an hour before I finally got it. And that was by chance.
Wow, no, that I would YouTube it after 30 minutes, bro.
You'll see, Jan. Jan, you're talking about you want to go back and play it. Wait for that part. I hope you get to it. I really do.
I cannot wait.
And you're actually gonna play the original.
What was that?
Jan, are you actually gonna play the original?
Yeah, I'm actually planning on. I kind of cashed out. I bought every single Resident Evil game that I could for like modern consoles, and I'm planning to play through them. the Resident Evil 1 remake, which came out in 2002, got remastered, and Resident Evil 0, Code Veronica, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the whole thing.
Hell yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, dude, it's a great series, and especially like this was the last Resident Evil 4. I think Diz might have mentioned this earlier. Resident Evil 4 was kind of like the start of things getting really crazy in this series, and then you guys Resident Evil 5, which is based pretty much during the day, pretty much. You have a couple sequences where you go down different caves and stuff like that, but not really. Resident Evil 6 is a straight up action movie.
Yeah.
When you get to Resident Evil 7, that's where things start getting crazy and scary as hell, because the Baker family, the people that are chasing you in this game, they're some of the most terrifying adversaries in a game that I've played in a while. The only thing is the enemy variety that you fight. So, like, even like a Resident Evil 4, you have variety, right? You have the Las Plagas, you have the monks inside the castle, you got
Los Iluminados.
Los Iluminados, yeah. You got the guys on the island. You have all these different creatures you got to fight. In Resident Evil 7, you're just fighting the molded, and there's only like 3 variations. There's one that looks like a liquor from Resident Evil 2 remake, and then there's just your regular zombie. So it's not like it's like too much variety in the way of enemies, but the set pieces, the boss fights, and all that stuff is really good. And it's horror centered too. Resident Evil 8. Resident Evil Village is like straight up Resident Evil 4, just first person. Although they got a third person mode out now, and you should play it like that if you guys haven't played it. I tried it out, and it is a game changer. Only thing is, I was going from Resident Evil 4 to Village, and I tried to play it in third person, and I kept trying to do my kick, and I couldn't do it. I was like, fuck, man. So I went back to first person because I'm like, this is the way it's meant to be played.
I think I'm gonna do this. I think I'm gonna do the same thing, because I'm just, without a roundhouse kick, what are we even doing, right?
Oh my gosh,
dude, the kick is what like if you're talking about damage control. Like I'm playing, so I'm playing Jedi Survivor now because that literally just came out, and I haven't had much time to play it, unfortunately. But the times I have played it, you get the double sided lightsaber like pretty much right at the start of the game, and the damage control on that shit is awesome. I mean, being surrounded by all these Imperials and Inquisitors coming at you, and you just do one move and you're just killing everybody. And that's a whole other topic. We'll have to talk about that in an episode, but I don't want to go too much into that now.
You made him to play it too. Huh?
Yeah.
But the Arcus is great. Speaking about like sound design, I love the crunching of the bones when you do the kick. God, I love it. It's so satisfying.
Yeah.
The kick and you go.
Yeah. I agree. What you guys? So we talked about Ashley for a minute, but nobody really brought it up. So what you guys think about the Ashley section where you just play as her in the remake? What you guys think about that? Anybody, whoever wants to go first.
I think I talked enough. I think I'll let the fuzz. I'll let the fuzz.
My opinion, short and sweet. The way I like it, it wasn't too long. I think you just kind of run through like a dark scene. I feel like they maxed out the horror element because there's no action in that, so they kind of maxed out the horror element. It was very dark. You only got a torchlight, and you just shine it at the statue monsters or the zombie monsters. And I really like that. I really like they gave her something at least, because if it was just me running away, I would have been like, this is a shit level. Like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
I'm just playing as a chick just to run away. Because when I first got there, I was like, why, man? Because I hate when games make you play as the side characters. It's so shit. But the fact that they gave her something to at least to manage and crowd control monsters with, and they made it scary, I'll give it a pass. Like, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
I agree. It's probably the scariest section in the game. And I love how Ashley is just as distressed as we are in that section. She's like, "Oh, this sucks."
Yeah.
Oh my god. I do not understand how you cannot love her, Dylan. Like honestly, throughout the whole game, I was like, "Man, I gotta protect this girl at all costs." Like,
I think she just annoyed me so much in the original. But I mean, she, don't get me wrong. I mean, she's a cute character. I mean, I like her way better in this one. I will say, I still just don't like, and I don't like her all that much. And she's not a huge part of the Resident Evil franchise. Like, this is the only game she shows up in. She doesn't show up in
right.
any other games, and I don't think she shows up in the films either. But I could be wrong about that.
She doesn't
I know a
become an
lot.
agent. She doesn't
Most of
help
them
Leon prevent all threats.
Yeah, most of them do become agents, but no, like I haven't seen her in anything else, so she's just kind of a irrelevant character. But yeah, as far as her personality and stuff, yeah, I mean, like you start to kind of like her being around. Like there's parts where she's joking with Leon, and Leon's just all business. Like goes in and he goes to this dining room, and she's like, "Hey, Leon, why don't you put on some of this armor? You know, it could protect you a little bit from from them." And she's just like, and then he's like, "Yeah, it doesn't really suit my style." And she's like, "Oh, I think you look pretty dashing in it." And that's it's just stuff like that, stuff that you see. You know, he obviously Leon, obviously that this is a job for him, but you do start to see a little bit. He starts to care about her a little bit, but
yeah, he just started to warm up her. You know, she at some point she asks like, "So do you usually go to missions like this?" And he goes, "Well, yeah, but I don't always have such good company."
Yeah, I don't have such good company. I say that.
So you know what? I think that's what
I was gonna say. Do you know what she says to Leon after? So after you get on the jet ski and you escape the island, do you know?
I know what you're gonna say.
You know what she says to Leon on the jet ski? Do you know, Dizz, what she says?
I remember.
So Leon, he drives a jet ski. He gets out in the middle of the water. They just escaped, and the game is about over. And then she goes, "Well, how about you come back to my place for a little extra? What is she extra
overtime?"
Yeah. You want to come over to my place for a little overtime? And he's like, as if like that. He just brushed his
He's done.
Leon's the perfect example of a Sigma male, isn't he? Just
he's the Chad. Yes.
Yeah. They do not hide from that shit at all in the original, man. It's funny. It's funny. It's great, but it's funny.
It's funny. But I like it a bit more in the remake where it's a bit more genuine, right? She goes, well, you know, I could put a good word for my dad, right? Yeah, have you send us my detail? And he goes, "Nah, you don't need me." Like it's a bit more. It looks like they've established more of a friendship in the remake, right? They have a dynamic. They have banter. In there, just pretty much Ashley simping for Leon, and Leon just having none of that.
Yeah, and it's funny too because after that sequence in the original where they have the whole the overtime thing. Then the credits roll, and then there's another scene where Leon is talking to Hunnigan, the agent lady, and she doesn't have her glasses on. And Leon, that's the one thing he notices. He's just like, "You're not wearing your glasses. Well, how about I take you out sometime?" And she's like, "No." He's like, "Women." I think he says something like that. He goes, "Women."
Yeah. He says women. You know when he says women in the original when he's on the boat with Ada going through the island towards the island, and then Ada kind of goes up to nowhere. She goes up to her DLC, and Leon says women. In the remake, he says something like "story of my life."
Yeah.
He get cancelled if he said that now.
All of his lines are really iconic, and he's had a few in the remake as well. But the one that I did cringe at when he said it, and it was supposed to be funny, and I still say it. Actually, I messaged John this after you fight those knights in that little pit or whatever, and Ashley's up top watching you. After you kill all the knights, he goes, "Nighty night, night."
Yeah, he has such the worst. This guy's he might as well be a dad at this point.
Yeah. Where's his Reeboks and jean shorts, man?
I mean, I don't know. I like his lines. So I like the iconic. Where's everybody going? Bingo.
Yeah, that's a good one. No, he's got a bunch of good ones. No, don't get me wrong. And I definitely too, and I'd like to hear your take on it, both of you, if you do go back and play the original. Let me know what voice actor you like better, because I've I don't know, dude. I've really liked this version of Leon that they've built up in these remakes. I just like him better. It's something about him, man. He's got like this more. He sounds younger to me. Like he sounds like a younger Leon. They're like, let's say Leon, what is he like? Let's say he's like 25 or 26 in this game.
Yeah, he's around that.
Because I think in RE2,
he was like fresh off the academy, so like he could have been older than like what 20, 21.
Yeah, something like that.
And,
And this was like
four
this
is like
5
6 years
yeah.
later. Yeah.
Oh, okay, 6 years. So yeah, that would put him around mid-20s. So it just he had a little bit more of like a youthful side to him. And like I said, when you hit somebody with a freaking sidekick, man, that shit it's so satisfying. I want to go back and play it again.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. No, it's a really great remake. But yeah, I will say I like the horror centered in RE2 a little bit better. But that's just more of a preference. But the combat by far is the best combat in these games. RE3 has pretty decent combat too because you got a little bit of that dodge, that with Jill. But I mean the RE4, man, you can't do much better than a spinning kick, side kicks, man. I mean you're kicking everything. That's all you're doing.
You're kicking barrels.
Yeah, kicking barrels. Yeah, dude.
Even that, yeah, that's true actually. Like even kicking the barrels, because I can't imagine in the original where you're like getting equipment or getting barrels. It must be clunky as hell. But in this one, bang, ammo, all the sound effects, 10 out of 10. Not gonna lie.
Great.
Yeah, I don't know if you can kick them or not. So the barrels look way different in the original game. It's like I see them in the remake though. Like if you walk into certain rooms, you'll see the original barrels, but you can't really interact with them. Yeah, and the thing in the original, mostly you just use your knife. Like your knife was like pretty much an unlimited resource. Like it didn't break really at all. There was no parry system. What do you guys think about the parry? I thought the parry was great.
Oh, great.
Amazing.
Like I liked it, and then I parried a fucking chainsaw, and then I loved it.
I tried to do that and failed, so yeah, don't ask how that went for me.
Yeah, no. It's a I died so many times to that animation. Damn. However, can we talk some negatives, dude? How about boys? How about that?
Some what?
Speaking of the barrels, some negatives.
Negatives.
There's like two things I don't like about it. Not, mostly nitpicks, but I think we should be genuine and say everything. So about the barrels, I find it really funny and kind of put me out of the immersion that all the barrels were like smeared in yellow paint, and not just barrels. Like every point of interest, like the game is like really concerned that you're not gonna know where to go. So it just smears yellow paint everywhere, like on doors, on the things you're supposed to shoot, on the paths you're supposed to go to. And I guess a little bit is okay because I get it, right? You cannot be completely photorealistic. You need to have some sort of color guidance. But this is so much over the top, and it didn't even bother me at first during my first playthrough. But then somebody mentioned it, and after I mentioned that, I could not unsee it. It was so jarring. There's just yellow paint everywhere. So that's a bit of a nitpick. And the second thing is that I really don't like how the ganados they were like weaponless, whatever you say it. The design ganados were like potentially more dangerous than the ones with weapons because they always kept lunging at you and were trying to choke you. And that move is so annoying. It's a waste of resource if you choose to use a knife. It's a waste of resource if you choose to mash your way out of it, because you lose a lot of health. And they keep doing that. This one guy did it 3 times in a row. It came to a point where I stopped disarming granadas because I did not want them to start lunging on me like that, like the fucking Frankenstein monster. But yeah, that's that. The 2 things that in my several playthroughs that I kind of came across and rubbed me the wrong way. Did you guys encounter these things, or am I just going crazy?
What you got, Diz?
I'll discuss my negatives. I felt like some of the boss fights were clunky. The first one, right, with the tall guy in the barn.
Big Cheese.
Yeah, Big Cheese. He just climbing on the ladder was annoying. Like I was just climbing, jumping, and like the camera angle was a bit off. And what was that boss called? You know, the play guy, the play zombie, who's like turned into a big like lizard, and he's like spewing like bombs at you. I don't even know what I'm talking about.
You mean Ramon?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and he mentioned
Ramon,
he's like, Yeah. I feel like that boss, I don't know. I guess I sucked at it because I died.
You don't like it?
I died over 30 times. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I was on that boss for at least an hour and a half, and
Damn.
I guess it's because I sucked, honestly. But it's just like I don't know. Like I guess the running animation didn't feel smooth in those boss fights for me
Mhm.
personally. And other than that, that's all I really have. The game was perfect.
Hmm. Well, it's interesting because that Ramon boss fight is like my favorite boss fight in the game, but I might be biased because I really like Ramon. He's probably my favorite villain. Like from the
Yeah, he
moment
is.
I've seen him, yeah, he's the way he talks, the way he taunts Leon, and the banter they have throughout the fight is great. When he
Yeah.
goes, que bonito, you dance the bolero so perfectly. And Leon's like, leave me out your fucking script. Or
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I
why don't
enjoyed
you
those.
show me how a masterclass is written?
Yeah.
Did you
Really
know
like
that
that.
you can kill Ramon with eggs? If you throw
What?
eggs at him, you can kill him.
The
Oh,
boss?
Yeah,
Alex.
Like instantly?
I got the trophy. Not instantly, but it takes out all of his. Like I think it takes like 3 eggs. I got the trophy. I think there was a trophy. No, I got a
There's no
trophy
trophy
for.
for it.
I got a trophy for throwing an egg at him for something.
I think you know what you got. I know what you got. You got a trophy for throwing something in his mouth.
That's what it
I threw
was.
a
That's what it was.
grenade. I threw a
Yeah,
grenade. I didn't
but
know you
yeah,
can kill him with eggs. Are you
you can kill
kidding?
him with eggs. Yeah, like it takes like 3 eggs. As soon as he opens his mouth, throw an egg, and he'll
Yeah.
fall immediately. And then you just go over there, and you can either shoot him or
Is he
burn him.
allergic to them? What's the lore
Well,
behind it?
it kind of alludes. So the merchant, which we got to get into in a minute, but the
Oh,
merchant
all
he gives
right.
you this. He gives you this side quest and says there's a portrait in the throne room where
Of Salo, yeah.
of him, and you need to deface it. You need to destroy it. Well, if you take a knife, you can't cut it. If you shoot it, it doesn't leave a mark or anything. The only thing that will get rid of it completely is you have to throw an egg at it. And
Yeah, well, I
so,
knew that.
well, when you throw an egg, it's supposed to hint that he hates eggs. Like I don't know if he's allergic. I don't know what the thing is behind that. But yeah, if you throw like 2 or 3 eggs at him, it might be 2 eggs. Throw one, he falls,
That's
he'll get
kinda-
back up and throw another one, and it's pretty much it.
Well, you know what? I have a problem with that because that's not a clear hint. Because I mean, defacing something with eggs is pretty common, right? Like you tell me, toilet paper and eggs. Like when you want to ruin someone's house, that's what you use, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like if I deface something with an egg, it's like, oh yeah, they must hate eggs. Like that's not the problem. Yeah, if people deface things with eggs, it's really hard to clean. That's not like
Is that
like
another
I
negative
don't get
on your review? Is that another
like
negative?
it's such a nitpick that I'm not even gonna consider it.
Yeah, that's
But
the thing. Like, that's how perfect the game is. That the
Yeah.
game is damn near perfect, and now you're trying to find shit wrong. Like when you were mentioning the boxes with the yellow paint on it, I was excited as hell to see those boxes because I knew I was getting good
Yeah.
shit. So like it didn't even bother me. Like I didn't care. They
Why
could
did
be
you
pink
why did you
boxes.
say so? I gave you time to speak.
Oh, I
Speak
was just
against
letting
it.
I was just letting you go, man. And then Diz was giving his 2 cents about it, so I was just being quiet. But
Right.
I was gonna let you guys finish, and I was gonna tell you that to me, I had seen that I don't even know if I call it criticism, but I had seen that before even playing the game. Like, oh man, they got all these yellow boxes. It looks out of place. Does it look out of place? Sure, I guess so. But at the same time, like, who gives a shit? It's got stuff in there. Just break it. And
Right.
It's
Yeah, I
not.
mean,
It's
I
not
guess
what.
you're
It's
right.
not the box. It's what's inside the box that counts. So, like, I don't care what color it is. It could have literally a picture of a giant dick on the side. If it's got ammo in there, I break it, and there's shit in there that I can use. Preferably nothing dick related. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Well, beggars
got
can't be
condoms in
choosers.
it.
So.
What'd you say, Diz?
So it's just got like condoms in it. And you're just like, yeah.
Yeah, Ada left them there, for Liam.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Oh,
I mean, like they have like you can tell that him and her got like some kind of sexual tension. And if you play the series, you see that like he starts gaining some real feelings for her and stuff. But
Wow.
but in this game, it's pretty much she's only in the game for what maybe like 5 minutes tops because I think they're saving most for stuff for the DLC. I think it's getting DLC for separate ways and
separate
for
ways.
Sure, I'll definitely be playing that for sure. But yeah.
In case you don't know what we're talking about, the original game had like an extra mode called Separate Ways where you play as Ada pretty much during the events of Resident Evil 4. So since it was missing in the remake, people assume that it's going to be a DLC later on, just like Mercenaries.
They have found files for it though. Like there's people that for some reason love to hack video games for some reason.
Yeah.
And there's literally files for it that says like Separate Ways, something. So they do already have at least whatever they need to build it, but that obviously Separate Ways is just not on there yet. It'll probably be paid DLC, but I'll buy it, dude. I mean, anything to get back in the Resident Evil.
Well, to see Ada again? Ooh, oh wow.
Yeah. She was. Here's the thing too. Like for anybody who watches this now or watches this later, if you're one of those people bashing the actress that played Ada Wong in this game, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, fuck you.
As simple as that. Like seriously. Like look, is her acting that good? I don't know. I mean, she's only doing what she's told to do. She's told to play the character that way. Why do people like to attack the actual actors for a role they don't like? You know what I mean? You guys have heard about that, right? You guys heard that?
Oh yeah, definitely.
The actress for Ada Wong, she had to like delete her social media accounts and everything because they were like hating her.
Yeah, she got bullied off the network.
Is it because they were comparing her to the original and they thought like she wasn't as good as the original or what?
Not as much as the original, as much as Ada also appears in Resident Evil 2. And in the remake as well, it's a different voice even there. Because, like, from what I understand, that actor became a union actor, and Capcom wants to stay away from those, so they changed her VA. And this new one, I agree. I also like the one from Resident Evil 2 better. But you cannot do this to a person, right? You don't bully them like that because they underperform. Are you kidding? On some bullshit criteria? Are you kidding? Like, we're living in dark times, dude.
Yeah, and the fact that this Resident Evil, you can kind of tell, like, I guess with certain Resident Evils, they like to max out certain things: horror, story, action. Resident Evil 7 is horror, 4 is action, and they kind of subsidized a bit on the story because the story is quite linear. Guy has to save president's daughter. That's really it, really, from a cult zombie. So the fact that they kind of subside on the story, they don't need to put much effort in voice acting and all those side things that come along with it. So that's probably why they just hired like whoever woman to voice for Ada Wong. And even though she underperformed, I feel like, bro, they're giving you so much anyway. So
yeah, right. And honestly, she's not that bad. Like it needed me some time to get used to, but I dig it. If I had that voice since the beginning, I would accept it.
Yeah, I mean, I will say too that I don't think it's necessarily underperforming either. I think it's more of just the director of the game told her to say her lines a certain way, and that's just what she did. I don't really have any issue with it. It's a little dull in some parts, like "Hey Leon."
Yeah,
it sounded like very like unenthusiastic. But see, that's the thing. Like again, let's go back to the original game, and I'm going to sound like a hater. I thought honestly when she showed up, I started laughing because she sounds like a porn star the way she talks to Leon. Like, hey, handsome. Oh, you seem like you're missing something. Like that's how she talks. I hate that, dude. I can't. I just found that funny to me. I like this one way better in my opinion from the way she looks.
Didn't help that she had a fucking dress. In the original, she had like
dude,
Chinese dress on.
Very like low cut dress. Like what they were doing, And this one, she still has that sex appeal, but she's not like, it's more of like, is she wearing a dress?
It's spyware.
It's like yeah. I liked her look way better in this too. Like this, I thought the way she looked. I didn't think her voice was all that bad. I think it's just people don't like her delivery because she doesn't sound like a freaking porn star. That's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to.
People's gonna beat their meat to it. Yeah, that's a big complaint.
Yeah, I'm looking at the original, and this is like max sex appeal. The remake one looks better for me, I think. Costume.
Yeah, but it's I don't know how you are guys, but to me, if you if you kind of go overboard with the sex appeal, then it goes 180, and it's not sexy anymore for me.
Mm-hmm.
When it's
Yeah,
so
I agree.
exaggerated, I'm kind of out of it. I'm like what's happening, right? What are you doing?
Right. Well, it's
You know,
like the
it's
ongoing. I was gonna say it's like the ongoing trope, right? Like Diz. I haven't really hung around your Twitch channel that much. So I don't know if you played much in the way of RPGs, but back when we were kids, because I think we're all around the same age here. I'm 26, so
Yeah, I'm 25.
but back when we were kids, and then maybe a little bit now, the RPGs that we had where you got to create your own character, the armor that you would buy for a male looked completely different to like a female. Like if you were playing as a guy, your armor would be like bulky and cover your whole body, and then the same exact armor for the female, and it's like it's cut off at the sleeve,
Yeah,
it's low cut. Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Like it's
World of
nothing wrong with
Warcraft, yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
right. Yeah, like it's nothing wrong
Yeah.
like with like having like a sex appeal in games. But when you take it too far, like Laura Croft, like that's a good example. Back in the day, they really try to make her a sex symbol. She still is, but back in the day, they really did. Like her triangle tits and the booty shorts and all that stuff. In these new
The
games,
booty shorts in winter, like there's fucking snow weather, she's still wearing shorts.
yeah.
That's a great example. Yeah, that's
Dude, but that's what I'm saying. Like it's kind of like that. It had that huge sex appeal. She's and the new version of Laura. She's very attractive. I mean, obviously I prefer that, but like she's not as like overbearing. You know what I'm saying? Like she's not like got her boobs just right up to the camera or like close up shots of her ass or anything. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm the same way. Like when it gets a little too far, it's like, all right, that's kind of enough. Like I think Jill is a good example in Resident Evil 3 remake, right? Like the way Jill looks in that in the I'll let you go for a minute, Jan. Go ahead.
no. I was just nodding in approval,
No, if he could marry a Resident Evil character or any video game character,
Jill.
that's
Oh my god.
Yeah, I remember Jill how she looks. Yeah.
yeah.
I played with her
most.
in Marvel vs. Capcom. That's the only way I remember her.
Oh, she's in that too.
Yeah, in that fighting game.
Is she dressed like she is in like Resident Evil 1? I think where she wears like the
stars.
The stars uniform. Yeah,
I don't think so.
It's pretty much a cop uniform, pretty much essentially what she is.
She wears like kind of like a spandex purple outfit in the fighting game.
I don't think that's it. That might be her outfit from like a later game.
It might be because of Resident Evil 5. I'm sorry, I just spoiled the shit out of that game.
Yeah, like you
My bad,
keep
Jan.
spoiling
Sorry,
the game, dude.
I'm sorry, dude. All right.
I didn't want to say anything, but
my bad. I'm sorry. I apologize. So she's in that. But anyway, when you see her in the game, she's wearing like this, like really tight, like almost like spandex suit. But there's a reason why she's wearing that. It's like a whole different thing. But you can tell they really tried to sexualize that a bit too as well. And there's a really when you get to that game, I don't know how far Diz got into Resident Evil 5, but there's a part when you see her, there's a situation where she's involved in, and it's one of the most annoying gameplay sections of a game I've ever played in quite some time. I was stuck on it forever. I could not figure it out. I don't know if Diz knows what I'm talking about. But when you first see her and you're trying to help her, and it's like, dude, I take the Ashley missions over this shit.
Yeah. I remember. I think I'm very young, but
yeah. But Resident Evil 4 remake, man, it's a great game. I mean, honestly, if I don't beat this game 100 times in my lifetime, I'll be surprised, man. I think this will always be one I go back to. Like, I'm actually going through a playthrough now. I got a couple playthroughs, actually. I got my professional playthrough where I'm already in the castle, and then I'm also playing on assisted mode, just using only handguns. Assisted is just laid back. Yeah, and knives, yeah. I have all my upgraded handguns. The only one I'm using, I think I'm using the Blacktail right now. And that's a load of fun because you're just basically decimating anything that comes at you, man. I mean, they're only taking like barely any health, so you can just go into a horde of them, and it's not even a big deal. So that's a load of fun. But great game, man. I mean,
Yeah, I
All
had a
right,
lot of
how many?
problems on my. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna ask Diz, how many times have you already played it once?
Only once. So yeah, only once.
You
Um,
are you planning on doing another run?
yeah, I plan on doing another run, but Star Wars just came out, so I need to get on that as well. So I've
I
got two
understand.
things
Yeah.
available.
I understand. What do you? Because maybe you've said in your streams and I missed it. What are you playing on? Are you playing on like PC, PS5? What are you playing on?
PS5.
Okay, so let me ask you this. I know we're kind of going off the subject here. This is what we do with the Deadhead podcast. However, we stayed on topic for a long time today.
Yeah, I
Let me
think
ask
we
you
met the
this.
quota.
Yeah, we sure did, man. For the first time in forever. All right, Diz. So you're playing on PS5, and I have to ask you this because Jan hasn't started his playthrough yet. How is the performance for Star Wars Jedi Survivor for you on PS5?
Personally, I haven't tried it on PC or anything else, but it feels like the performance is good. I've only played like 30 minutes of it, I'll be honest, but the controls feel smooth. It's got that dual shock extra, it vibrates and stuff. That's like the dual shock vibrations. Like, I don't give a shit if I'm honest. Resident Evil is kind of cool because you can hear the guns on your
Yeah.
controller. Kind of cool, but
Mhm.
PS5, yeah, it's all right. But in performance overall, it seems pretty good. FPS is at what I think 60, right? 60 or something like that, and it feels smooth.
So you would say it's going a solid 60. It's not dipping for you in any kind of way. Where are you? Have you gotten past the first? So you start out on Coruscant, I believe. That's the first planet you
Yeah,
start off at. Are you
yeah,
past that? Are you on Kobo now? Or are you still on there?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Still like quite early, so I can't really give a full judgment on the FPS dropping since I haven't had big fights, but it seems smooth so far.
Well, I was just wondering. I'm glad to hear it's a smoother experience because I'm letting both of you guys like that whole section. The first part on Coruscant is buggy as hell, and
Mm,
it's very stuttery for me personally. Like I didn't know what it was. I took off. So every game I play, I don't know if you guys are the same way. I turn off motion blur. I cut off chrome aberration. I also cut off there's one other one I don't remember what it is. Camera shake, I believe.
yeah, I'm
The
gonna
film
note this
grain,
down.
maybe.
What was that? What'd y'all say? I didn't hear either one of you.
I said,
I am gonna
I
note
mean,
this.
Holy shit. Okay, Diz, what you got?
I said I'm just gonna note down what you said because I do know it's a bit of very like kind of lagginess when I'm playing it.
Mm-hmm. What'd you say, Jan?
you were not sure about one thing you cut off. It might have been a film grain or something.
Oh
You
yeah,
guys
it
do
was
that,
it's
the good deal.
yeah. I cut off. Yeah, okay, that's the three. Yeah, it's film grain. It's motion blur and then chrome aberration. I don't think I touch camera shake. I think I leave that one on. I do that for
I feel
all
like
my
camera
games.
shake is fine. So for
Yeah,
some
camera
shit,
shake
it is good. Yeah.
Yeah, camera shake's fine. All the other three are shit. I don't know why they exist. The only reason why motion blur exists is for like last gen consoles. So like if you're playing a PS4 and you're running 30 FPS, the motion blur is supposed to make you feel like you're moving faster, but you're still playing a
Dude,
30
even
FPS.
then, yeah, I mean, even then, like, it just makes me car sick. That's what it does.
Yeah, I agree. So I cut all that shit off. So I thought at first doing that would help, and I did notice it did help a little bit. I was probably at least, if I had to guess, probably more at the 40 FPS range. But
Damn, that's bad.
it's very it was stuttery, man. I was still having, but here's the thing, because I was looking forward. So I beat Jedi Fallen Order on Xbox like a year or so ago, and then I played it again on PS5. And I had a blast. Like I'm actually got a video on my channel, and I recommend both of you guys to check it out if you haven't already. But I did a video years ago, and I re-uploaded it, and I said Jedi Fallen Order sucks ass. And literally in the video, I am like straight
Oh yeah,
up
I've seen that.
shitting. Oh, did you? I was like straight up. I know I got so much flack for that, for reposting that, and I'll get to that in a minute. But in that video, I'm like shitting on it. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna break the disc in a million pieces, throw it outside with my console, run over my mower, all this shit. Well, anyway, I visited a couple years later, and I fell in love with the game. Like I just thought it was fantastic from start to finish. I actually became I think when I first played it, I wasn't a full-on Star Wars fan. Yeah. But after, I'm still fairly new in this universe, so I'm still learning a lot of it. But now that I love Star Wars, I like it even more. So when I beat Fallen Order, I was like, oh, dude, I want more of this. So I played it again on PS5, and PS5 is the way to play completely because the haptics is awesome. That's just awesome. I like haptics. I know you were saying you're not really too much for it. I do like. I think it adds a little bit more to it. But so going into Survivor, I'm super excited about it. But I noticed like as soon as you load in the Coruscant, it has awesome opening. I'm not going to get into it because Jan hasn't really played it yet. And I'm like, dude, this is awesome. You get to this first, you fight the first couple Imperials coming after you. And I was like, okay, it's running pretty well. But then right after that, it's just the game was super stuttery for me. And it was really disappointing. And I'm on the second planet now, so I'm still like in the early stages. Like I don't even think I've done the tutorial yet. But I just got the Kobo, and it's a bigger area. And when I first got to the planet, it was running like buttery smooth. I posted a couple gameplay videos on the Instagram account. And man, it looks good. It's like, okay, this is what I wanted. But then I got closer and closer to civilization where you start seeing more NPCs walking around. And it's just my PS5 is just like, what the hell is going on? Because it was stuttering so bad. And I'm like, this is I mean, I almost like wanted to shed a tear because I've been waiting for this. Like I got really excited for this game. And for this to happen, how can they let this happen, man? They pushed this shit back.
Dude,
how did they let this happen?
I'll give you one answer, not 2 words, 1 word. EA.
EA. Yeah.
2 words.
Yeah, fuck EA.
I mean,
yeah,
honestly, dude, like even though I pre-ordered the game, I'm not touching that in a month. I'm giving them the time to patch it up, let them smooth things over, let the dust settle, then I'll play it. Potentially even more than a month. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with something like this. I feel like it should be fixed soon. I would think, man. Like, I mean, really, I don't feel like there's really much into it, right? I haven't really seen any like crazy bugs, right? Like pop in or anything like that. It's just performance. You would think that wouldn't be hard to patch. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a gaming engineer, anything like that. So I have no idea what goes into that. But I feel like it wouldn't be a hard patch to do. I mean, what do you guys?
I'll tell you what. It might have been like a deeper issue here because I remember that when Jedi Fallen Order came out, that game was like a glitch fest. Straight up glitch mania. The circus is in town. The glitch, like people are posting, Twitch highlights, little clips of like Cal just going through the floor, or I don't know, just things popping like in front of himself. It was bad. It was real bad, and that's why I stayed out of the game. I played the game like last year, even though it came out in 2019. So it really does not surprise me at all that Survivor has some issues. It doesn't have as many issues as Fallen Order had on launch, but I kind of you should have seen it coming, dude. That's all. That's what it is.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, like you said, I think you hit it nail right on the head when it comes to EA. EA is a freaking cancer to the gaming industry because this is what they do. Like listen, while we've gotten Madden, the same fucking game over and over again, reusing the same assets, same graphics, just putting there's people actually pre-ordering the new Madden right now just so they can play as Aaron Rodgers on the fucking Jets. Like, who gives a shit what team?
Let's go.
What does that do? Like, what does that do, man? You can literally have the same game that came out 5 years ago, upload a new roster, and boom, Madden 24. It's not that fucking hard. You know what I mean?
It's the same thing with FIFA.
Yeah. Any of those games, it's pitiful.
Well, you know what the thing is? You know why it keeps happening? Because they keep getting away with it. People keep buying it. And the worst thing is that, like,
you can't get away with this.
Yeah. I mean, and honestly, as long as they, as you said, have these pitiful games and pitiful players play them, I'm all for it. Whatever. I don't care, right? But then you have EA actually distributing a potentially good game like Jedi Survivor, but it has the EA label on it, so I know it's gonna have issues. So that's where the problems arise, right? As long as they mess up Madden or FIFA or whatever, I don't know who distributes FIFA actually. As long as they mess up Madden, I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. Then they start messing up games that could potentially be good. Because I'm sure the developers are not that much at fault in it, right? I'm sure they have like horrible deadlines. I'm not sure what the work environment is. I don't know where the problem is. Just as Elon said, me too, not a tech whiz. But I know there is an issue because there's a reason why they're always consistently this bad. Like there's consistently an issue. So there are deeper roots there.
Yep. No, I mean it's a shame. It's a shame because I really like everything else. When you get to the first planet, you get to Kobo. That's like the big planet before you go to the other ones. It's beautiful. I will say, like I got to this. I took a screenshot and I posted that on Instagram as well. Beautiful shot, like over a mountainside, and you can see the civilization down below. And I got right now. I just unlocked Cal's big beard. So I'm sporting that. I still got. I unlocked the mullet. Who the hell is wearing a fucking mullet in this game? I wouldn't dare.
Have the internet.
I wouldn't dare. Dude. I'm from the States, and I would never do that.
I think it's more fun. You know, I think it's more fun for someone who's not from the States. Yeah, it's like because they're just memeing on it, right? Because it's so alien, so bizarre, and so fucking ridiculous that people just can't help falling in love with it.
Why would they think a mullet's a good idea?
Yeah, I used to have a friend with a mullet and used to get
oh my god
tortured for it.
Yeah, dude, it's bad. It's bad, and it just doesn't fit in like the Star Wars mythology, man. You don't ever see that. Dude.
So there clearly is an audience for it. All right, there's an audience for the fucking mullet.
Yeah, but it's a shame. It's a shame, and probably the way Jan is handling is probably the best way to do it. But I don't think I'm gonna be able to stay away, man. I think I'm gonna keep playing it, and if it gets to the point where it's so stuttery I can't play it, then I'll stop. But I've been desperate for a game like this, and I think I'm gonna keep with it. Now, if it's like so bad to the point where it feels like I'm watching a freaking slideshow, I'll stop. If it's like I'm watching like a PowerPoint, then I get it.
Well, you know what, dude? Go ahead. You can be like a little guinea pig for me, right? You play some of it, and when you say, "Hey, Jan, they patched it. Now it's good," that's when I'm gonna start playing it.
Well, you better get your ass on it, man. We're gonna do an episode on it probably within the next, Like I just seen your face just drop.
You're gonna play it.
I was hoping we do an episode over the next, couple months. I would hope, like the next.
Well, sure, a couple months, sure, I can do that. I thought you were gonna say that the next episode is about that, and I'm like,
well, hell no, I can't.
You cannot be dropping that on.
No, hell
exactly. I know me. Like, I gotta complete it before I review it.
Yeah. So
what is it? Yeah, reviewing games for beating them once. Like who does that?
Yeah. Diz, I don't know if you went back and watched the other episodes, but Jan is a completionist. This dude, he 100% every game he plays. He loves that shit. I hate it. I can't.
As soon as I heard Jan say, "Yeah, I got plat in Resident Evil," I was like, one of them guys, Just everywhere.
Do you know how many times you got to play the damn game to get the platinum in that?
No.
I mean, how many times have you beaten it, Jan? Resident Evil 4?
Wait, I'll count it. So I had the first run on standard, collecting all the shit. Then I had one where I only used a handgun and knife. Another one where I didn't heal. Then one on professional, with a rocket launcher. That's 4, right? Then
you got to do one where you don't talk to the merchant, right?
Oh yeah, I didn't say it, but when I did the one where I only used a handgun and pistol, when I used a handgun and a knife, I also didn't talk to the merchant. Then what you can do, I did more playthroughs than I had to, because if you beat it on professional and get an S+ rank, then you automatically get the trophies for beating out a standard and hardcore with an S+ rank.
They just fixed it. They just fixed that, man. Like they didn't have that at first. You had to play each one.
I did it. Well, I did it either way, because there's no way that I'm getting an S+ on professional. For getting S+ means starting from a new save, like new game, and I cannot do it. I did it on standard and hardcore. I did the long haul. But I haven't played and honestly, about that comment about us guys being everywhere. Hey, all right, I've been here for a long while. Like all these new kids on the block. Like I'm glad the hobby is getting more recognized. But don't mix me up with that, you know what I'm saying? There's a respect the badge.
I respect it. I'm a scrub after all,
Well, you know what? No, I mean, I don't like having the superiority complex. It's just, I just like doing it. And honestly, anyone can do it if they have the drive for it, yeah.
Yeah, because with Spider-Man, I think I got plat of that as well. But I'm a Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's fun. That was a fun plan. Except for the crimes, that's bullshit.
Yeah, the
That's bullshit. I really, I was pretty happy about it. One of the easiest platinums I ever got was, and I only got 2, but the easiest one out of those 2 was Callisto Protocol. Everybody hated on that game. Everybody hated on that game so bad. But dude, I'm telling you, play it now. It's been patched. It's fantastic. Got platinum on that. The only thing is, I beat it and I got the platinum before they added they had a hard difficulty, but then they put another difficulty in the game. So I haven't even played that yet. But that's a super fun experience. Honestly, I put that over Dead Space, the Dead Space remake. I had way more fun with that.
I need to play that.
I thought the telekinesis in Callisto Protocol was way more fun. It almost felt like you were using the Force almost. It felt like you were like force pulling and pushing, and I thought that was great. Fantastic.
Well,
I had that on
played
either.
Oh, good. I was going to say that I haven't played either, but one day.
Play them both, man. They're good. They're good, especially Callisto's, man.
Someday.
It's not.
I have quite a backlog.
Dude, it's not enough time in the day anymore, man. With as busy as I've been, I've done good just playing the games I'm playing. Like I'm still playing Dead Island 2. I'm like over 3/4 away.
That, man.
Yeah, it's dude.
That looks good. Yeah,
that's fun.
I love Dead Island 1.
Yeah, it's super fun, man. It's the gore system is like fantastic, man. Like everything you do to a zombie in this game, you see the repercussion of that. So if I take a sword and I slash a zombie in the chest, you see the chest get cut open. I was like, dude, that's awesome. Like the things you can do in it is great. And yeah, not in the way of story. Like the original one doesn't really have a story either. So I don't know how people complain about that shit. Y'all are just stupid anyway. Because if you played the original game, that one didn't really have a story either. It's the same generic shit we've seen 1,000 times, right? You have someone who's immune to a virus. They're the only ones that are immune, and they're the only ones that can get shit done. And then you go do stuff. That's it.
It's a co-op game as well, so they can't really do like an impactful story in a RPG co-op game. Well, not even co-op, 4 players.
Yeah.
I didn't know it's co-op.
Yeah, it's co-op, man. Yeah, it's fun. I'll play with you sometime if you end up playing it, Jan. If you end up playing it, I'll play it. It's super fun. And the weapons, what were you gonna say?
I'd love to, but as you said, there's not enough time in a day, and
not enough time, dude. I don't play much multiplayer anyway.
And in theory, I should graduate this year, so that's happening in my life. So
congrats.
I'm kind of
congrats, man. That's good.
Congratulate me when I actually do it. I appreciate my congratulations when I actually do it.
You'll get it. You'll get it, man. But anyway, I know we kind of got off subject here. We'll kind of wrap this thing up. I've been at work all day, so I'm ready to unwind a little bit. So you guys got anything else you want to say about Resident Evil 4 before we get on off of here?
Not really.
I was thinking of a quote, just to say,
Come on, no Leon cheesy lines like.
I don't know. Like, you talk too much. I don't know.
Good rhymes with fun, stranger.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked about the merchant at all. Yes.
The
that cash in your pocket or your life. Easy choice.
Easy choice.
God, I love it. I love it so much.
I've been trying to think of the one that he says, but it's a longer quote. And Jan seems like he's great with the quotes here. So I'm gonna ask you. Yeah. So the one he says, it's not about the price. The price is all the same.
I know.
What's the whole quote?
No. He says, okay, I don't know the whole thing. It's when you're trying to sell something. He says this or that. He doesn't say this or that. He says something instead of this or that. But he says this or that. It doesn't change anything to me. The price. Now that's up to us. He says something like that. That's for us to decide.
Yeah.
Because they did like you're bargaining. That's the idea, right? So it's like
that's right.
Come back anytime. Come back anytime.
Yeah, come back anytime. My back is killing me. Time has it been happy to us.
Yeah, people
Yeah.
think that he's not as batshit crazy as in the original. God, I love this merchant. He's
He says
just
4
overall a
lines in the
chill
original.
dude.
He says 4 fucking lines in the original. Like it's not like groundbreaking. This is all he says. What are you buying?
What you
What are you selling? Stranger. I'll buy it for a nice price. That's it.
And I kind of like the quote.
Thank you.
I like the
He says
quotes
that
in the
was it.
remake back when he goes, "Oh, stranger, I'll buy at a high price." God,
Yeah,
I love it.
he is iconic though, man. Yeah, no,
See, that's
he's
what I'm
great.
saying. I love all the characters in this game. I love Lewis. I love Ashley. I love Ramon. I love the merchant. Just greatly acted, greatly.
You like
voiced.
Krauser?
Yeah, Kranz is alright. He's probably my least favorite of the villains. Well,
Come
no,
on,
let's be-
rookie.
No,
What are you
no. You know
doing,
what?
rookie?
No, I do like him. You better hustle. Who knows what's become of the girl?
Hey,
I kinda
the
like
part
him. I
the
think
part
that's
that you're trying to get around him, and you know he's there, but you don't know where he's at.
Mhm.
He'll sneak up right behind your ass. You know what I'm talking about? Like at the end of the
Yeah,
game,
yeah.
when you're doing,
Yeah,
like
he's slicing you.
yeah, the main
Yeah.
like he'll come up behind you, man, and I've seen gameplay like if you quickly turn around, do the quick turnaround, and he's like crouching behind you the whole time.
Yeah, that's scary.
I didn't even know.
know.
Yeah, it's pretty. Like I'm like, damn, this is worse than the Knights, man. I think I'd take my chances with the Knights. You throw a flash grenade, you can get them.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was a pretty, just kind of wrapping things up. I thought that was a pretty cool thing. It's like when you had some of the Las Plagas infected, when their heads would blow off, it would like be the big ass I don't know what you
Parasite, yeah.
You see the actual parasite out, and you use a flash grenade, and that immediately takes them out. I thought that was good. That happens in the original too. There's also another one where if you see like a flock of crows, if you throw a grenade in the middle of them, they all die and they leave behind pesetas. So
Yeah, that's
all
'cause-
currency over there.
And that's because they're infected too, right? That's why they die to flashbangs. And I saw
Are
someone
they?
theorize that. I mean, there are like a lot of theories floating around, like that, like the crows are infected. That's why they get flashbangs. There's a theory that Ada is the one that rings the bell at the beginning of the game.
Oh,
Help
wow.
Leon
I think
out.
she does. Because I think in the original she does. I could be wrong.
Oh.
With that. I don't remember.
There's also a thing that since they the parasite, when it's exposed, when it's out of the body, it's vulnerable to light. That's why that's the flashbangs or to the torch that Ashley carries. People say that how the merchant always has like a torch with like some violet fire like everywhere he is. People say that he puts it there to ward off the Las Plagas.
Mhm.
Oh,
And if that's true, that's a neat detail. I kind of like that.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's like he's got to be something else, right? Because as you get later in the game, when you look at the merchant, he's got red eyes. I don't know if you guys noticed that or not. It happens in the original too. In the original game, it happens too. Like when you get towards the later half, his eyes turn red. So it's like it's almost like he's infected too. Because if you notice a lot of the Los Illuminados and stuff towards the end of the game, it's like they're you see they have the red eyes. So it's almost like he's infected, but he still have it. He still has his consciousness. He's still, I guess, human.
I mean, his whole character is kind of, wrapped in mystery.
Oh, that's one thing I will say I thought was funny is in the original game, you can straight up kill the merchant. So after you buy stuff from him, you can straight up shoot him in the head, kill him. He'll come back to life. But not right there. Like he's dead right there. But if you go somewhere else at like another checkpoint, he'll be there. So like you can keep killing him and he'll come back to life.
But does he say anything about you killing him?
No, I wish he did. That would be awesome.
Yeah, it would be awesome if you just increase the price, make you play double price.
Yeah, and the original he doesn't have what I like about the remake is they give him like a full on table and everything where you can see all of his shit. In the original, it's just like he just opens up his jacket pocket and he's like, "What do you want?" Instead of having like a full on table. Yeah. So it's stuff like that I do like. Yeah, all in all, man, it's a great game, and I'll definitely be revisiting. I will be revisiting it for sure. And I recommend to both you guys if you, which I think Dizz has played a little bit more of the later ones, but definitely if you guys are missing any, go back and play them. I will say the first couple are very dated. Like 1 and 0, even though they remade it for the GameCube at the time and they refined the visuals, it still does tank controls, and I just don't like tank controls. I've tried just to see if I could do it. What were you gonna say?
Honestly, I said I think I can handle it. I honestly can't wait to get to the more, old-fashioned tank controls and all. I played Silent Hill, right? The original ones; those had tank controls, and probably even more obtuse puzzles. So I think I can handle it.
Well, if you think you can handle it, man, I don't know. What do you think, Diz? Can you go back that far and play tank controls?
I'm gonna be honest, not really. I played the Art 2 free remake, but I don't know. I don't have much patience for like GameCube type controls and all that shit.
How far back in gaming will you go? Like, let's say there's a game you played when you were a kid, right? How far back will you go until a point like, okay, I can play this, but I can't go back any farther? Like, is there a game that you played that's like came out around like 2005 or something?
I feel like the oldest games I can play are the simple ones. So like Final Fantasy games is turn-based anyway. It's not too advanced. So I can play like games like 7. Like I played the old 7 one where it's just like bottle heads and 2D. Played those. But the ones where it's like it's a bit more complex, I get annoyed because it's like too way back.
Yeah. Speaking of Final Fantasy, we got a lot of excitement for that, and we could go on and on for
16
on that.
16 is coming. Oh,
I'm ready.
Like honestly, I tried to convince myself that I wasn't that excited about it, but then I saw the trailers and I'm like, oh lordy.
Yeah, I'm hell excited. It should come out. When is it coming out? Probably
June 22nd.
Yeah. I'm ready.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's usually dead. It's usually dead in the summertime, so we're getting a heavy hitter too. Like for Final Fantasy to come out during that time of the year. Yeah, I was the same way. We can wrap everything up with this conversation here, but I was the same way. But then I was like, I thought it looked cool, but I was like, dude, I just want 7 Remake Part 2. Rebirth, I think that's what it's called. That's what I want. Yeah. I want that. But then I saw some gameplay for this one and how much stuff is going on. My only fear, and I'm curious to see what you guys think about this closing out the show here, but do you guys feel like the combat is going to be a little too all over the place? Because that's one of my main complaints with like Final Fantasy 15. And what I mean by all over the place is when I'm playing Final Fantasy 15, great game, by the way. It's a great game. Even though I found Prompto to be a very annoying piece of shit. Oh, yeah. Other than that, the game is a good game. But it's just like I can't knock this man. I can't follow what the fuck he's doing half the time. He's like he's all over the damn place. Because especially when you fight like a bunch of enemies or like a bigger boss, the camera zooms out like a lot. Yeah. And when you have all those guys fighting at one time, Noctis is just, I kind of lose track of where the hell he's at. Do you guys have that issue? Or is that, I wear glasses, so that could be part of it. But I lose track of where he's at. I feel like the combat isn't as satisfying in 15. So I'm a little worried that 16 is going to have that same feel.
Well, worry not. I'm way more negative about 15 than you are. I think that combat in the game is straight up dog shit. You hold square and nothing can kill you. Then you hold circle and Noctis just kills every enemy. Without any major input. You don't even need to see what's going on the screen, But I wouldn't worry about 16 because you may have not heard, but they brought the combat director from the Devil May Cry games to work on this one. And if you know anything about Devil May Cry, that has as solid as a combat as there is. So I'm not worried at all.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with you. And if they got the DMC combat director, I have high hopes because DMC is one of my favorite games of all time.
Oh man, I love them too.
Mm-hmm.
I tried. I haven't really gotten too far into those. I think that's one of those backlog games. Like I got Devil May Cry the special edition for PS5, and I downloaded it. I played it for like an hour, and then I was like, and then I just stopped playing for some reason. That's usually what happens to a lot of these classic games. Is just something else comes out. That's why I'm trying to like take my time, but it says the guy that has to buy every game it released. But I try to take my time, finish one, and then go to the next. But like, I'm so glad I finished Resident Evil 4 when I did because Dead Island was coming out like shortly after, which I finished Resident Evil 4 like a few weeks ago now, but that was like on my second and third playthrough. And then I'm juggling separate playthroughs. Like over here, I'm doing this, and then over here, I'm doing this. It's like, yeah, I probably shouldn't be doing that, but it's like I wanted to try different saves and different ways of combat. Hence why I was doing like several playthroughs. But yeah, no, that's like my only major thing that I was worried about. But if that's true, and they brought in a guy from DMC for the combat, that could be fun. I just don't want it to get old. I'm scared of it getting old. I don't know. Something about it just looks like it can get old. Final Fantasy VII Remakes, I've beaten that game 3 times now. I beat it once on PS4 and twice on PS5.
System, yeah.
The combat system is so addictive to me. I like the turn-based and then going to the action stuff. I thought that was perfect. And I know they can't do that every game because that maybe would get old if you did it for every Final Fantasy game. But I just thought that was perfect. A good combination. You know what I mean? This one just seems like when I'm watching the trailer and had gameplay in it, I just seen a bunch of explosions. Like it looked good, but it looked like I was watching a Michael Bay movie. That's what it looked like I was watching.
Have you seen the state of play? Is that the most recent? They did a 25. Yeah, they did make a 25-minute whole showcase of the gameplay. They go pretty in depth on it.
Yeah, the world looks good. Yeah, the world looks good. The combat looks very flashy and cinematic, but will they get old after a while? You know, I hope I'm eating my words and it's like fantastic.
Let's wait and see. You know.
Yeah. Well, I already pre-ordered the special edition, so I'm already in.
Oh my God, dude. That is a pretty ass edition. I wish I had your money. I couldn't afford it.
My money. My money, man. I saved, bitch. I'm not rich.
Yeah, we're not millionaires.
That's the guy who buys every fucking new release and then buys it again digitally.
I do that. Yeah, Diz. What I try to do since I'm able to afford it, I try to buy the game twice. If I really like a game, I'll buy it twice. Jedi Survivor, I've only bought it once. Actually, I've only bought it once. I bought it digitally, and I have not gotten a physical version yet. I did buy Resident Evil 4 Remake twice. The reason why I buy it twice too is because that way I can play it at midnight. I want to play it at midnight and I don't want to leave my house. So I know it's stupid. I know that, but I have 2 copies, and that's what I've been doing for each game. I don't think I bought 2 copies of Dead Island either. So I am kind of like sliding it back a little bit because I was buying 2 at a time, but I do that for my own personal reasons, but also too, if I really like a game, that's my sign of like showing support to the developer, right? Like if I really enjoy a game, I'm doing my part because I want this, I want more of this, and that's my way of it. And a lot of people probably wouldn't think that, like you're just giving a company more money, but I think if I'm going to support a game, I'm going to support it, you know? So like Final Fantasy, I bought the special edition. I think that was like $100. I will probably buy it digitally.
It's probably €110 over here. Like it's crazy.
I'll probably buy it twice. So, I mean, it's just I know I love Resident Evil and Final Fantasy. Those are my biggest franchises of all time when it comes to gaming.
Yeah.
And Last of Us, I guess, but after Last of Us Part 2, I don't know.
Well, it's not much of a franchise. It's got 2 games.
Well, yeah. But,
I mean, I love it too, but
yeah. You know what I mean. But anyway, well, I don't want this thing to go like 3 hours long. Like I said, I've been working, so I don't want to hold you guys up too much longer. But Diz, like I said at the beginning of the show, we both appreciate you coming on.
I love having you, dude.
Yeah. No, you were great, and I apologize. We were supposed to be 4 of us. The other guy I had on, he's been on the show a few times now. Emmet, we love that guy. He was gonna come on and talk about Resident Evil with us, but he had some stuff going on. So you were only guest this time around. So I hope you feel special, man.
Yeah, I do. You got me feel special, eh?
Yeah. And what I can do is I offer this to most people that come on the show. Me and Jan, we try to make copies of each. So to anybody that comes over and watches this later, that watch you can watch it on our channel. It'll also be on our Twitch channel for I think at least 14 days. But it'll be on YouTube permanently. I can also, if you want, if you liked how this went, I can also take a copy, cut it up, or I can send you the whole thing or whatever if you want to pass it around. I'm hoping that hope this was something that you enjoyed. But what kind of comment did we just get here? Polar Nights. I love this It is the perfect evolution of beard growth.
I think he's talking about the fact that I got no beard, and then he got a little bit of it, and then he got fuzz. And then you have the fuzz.
Yeah, cool.
I just got some chin. Yeah. Do you know who this is, Dizz?
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm sorry. I kind of got distracted because I just said perfect evolution of beard growth. I'm like, I mean,
evolution.
It's
only
a
one
funny
really-
comment.
yeah.
That's a Chad right there. That's what it is.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think the only one who's really got a beard right now is Dizz. I just got this shit on my chin. I was trying something different, and
I like it.
I appreciate it. I'm getting a little hairy though. I need to
It is a weird shit. Oh, don't be sorry, dude. It's great.
No, but no, I noticed the weirdest shit. Sorry. Okay. No, it's all good. Make sure you follow the channel, please. Anyway. But yeah. Anyway. Yeah. We'll forgive you for that. Yeah. Anyway, so if you want us to cut this stream up or whatever, we can send you the link if you want to share it to your viewers and they can check it out. We'll do that. But anyway, with that being said, is anything else you want to tell the Dizz? Is anything you want to say to the people before you leave? Anything you got working on right now? Anything that's coming up for you?
Yeah, well, I stream around 2 to 3 times on Twitch. My Instagram is where everything is popping. I got the clips, shorts. Also have a YouTube. It's the same name across everything. This was Plays. And shout out to you both for bringing me here. I appreciate everything you've kind of like invited me to this podcast. This is my first podcast ever, and doing this was fun, man. I enjoyed it.
Thank you for coming on, man. We appreciate. No, it's good. I hope that we can get back up and collab sometime, man. I'm glad I reached out to you. Really, one of the reasons why I reached out to you, man, I was just looking at your Twitch clips. Matter of fact, actually, I'll tell you how I really found you. And I don't know if I told Jan this. I'll tell this story and we'll get on out of here. So we brought in a guest on the show. Her name was Lyra, and she's a huge Harry Potter fanatic. Matter of fact, we'll probably be bringing her on soon for something that I'll talk to Jan about it here over the next few days. But I'd love to have her back on. But anyway, I was on her page for something. I think I was looking for her email, and I saw that I must have clicked on something. I saw one of your reels for, I think you were playing Hogwarts Legacy, and you were reacting to something happened in the game. I was like, man, this dude is fucking wild. Let me bring him on. And I know it's a little later where you're at. I was like, this dude's wild, man. We gotta have him on. And I know it's a little later for you, man. I'm sorry it's so late. I know Jan has to deal with it every time we do this show, man. I mean, I
hate to interrupt you, dude, but you gotta read the latest comment by Polar Knights.
Oh, hold on. Twitch have a limit of 3,000 I can follow at one given time. I need to delete somebody. He spelled somebody wrong. Okay, I delete the girl doing squats for $1 to follow you. Just better be.
I can assure you it is.
I don't know if we can compete with the girl doing squats, man. What she look like?
Yeah, we ain't gonna do it like that. Sorry.
Does she look like Ada Wong?
We could do squats though for $1. I would do a squat for $1 though.
Told you so, man.
Well, thank you for the follow. We do appreciate it. Jan, is there anything you want to say to the people before we get on out of here?
Oh yeah, come back soon, stranger. Stranger.
That was pretty good, but you could have done better, man. There's not enough rasping.
You know what I think?
Try it again, and we're not leaving.
All right. Oh my God, dude, there's a lot of pressure. So, come back soon, stranger. Is that too much?
Sound like you're talking 5 packs of 6.
I am not English. Typos will happen now and then. Thank you, God. I have Google Translate and you.
Thank you, God.
Thank you.
No, keep at it, dude. Don't feel sorry at all. Don't you listen to this big meanie? Wait, to this beanie.
this big meanie. So, all right. So anyway, quick housekeeping real quick. Yeah. If you wouldn't mind, giving us a follow on the Twitch channel. We're really trying to bring some growth over there. I scream, you scream. We all scream for ice cream. I stream on Twitch every Tuesday at around 6 or 7 o'clock. I want to try to get into doing an hour and a half, 2 hour stream or so. I have all of Dizz Fuzz's info in the description of this stream. I will also put it in the comment section to give him a follow. I'll also send him the link so anybody who followed him over here can pretty much watch it whenever. And thank you guys again for coming on to come and check us out this episode. Really appreciate having you. Thank you, Dizz, for coming on the show. And with that being said, stay dead, my friends.
Stay dead.